There we go. I cracked you all up. You want me to do it now? Oh, all right. Hello, everyone. Welcome again to a Corporate Underground episode. We have Lou here again, and we're going to be talking about how average is over or average is in. I already got distracted because I started singing before I hit record. So, Lou, thanks for joining us again. Ronan, I'm trying to throw myself on my singing. Why don't you take over, please, for God's sake?
Sure. So today's topic is average is over. So what do I mean by that? The rich are getting richer. If you are successful, you're getting more successful. Now, the bottom end, they might even come at some stage universal basic income. Let's talk about that. But growth wages aren't going particularly high, but at the bottom, you can still kind of survive. But there's a huge squeeze in the middle. So people that once would have been considered middle class are coming under attack. And the reason for that, I believe, is that they're just doing the average, the basic. So AI is coming in. AI is going to change the way we do business. For a lot of people that would have spent 20 years getting a degree and being a professional, we're talking accountants, we're talking lawyers, we're talking doctors, a number of those people. So how do you go above average? How do you go beyond that? One of the ways to do that is there's always that phrase that there's less traffic when you go the extra mile. So Lou, you're talking about in your previous episode here on Corporate Underground about how you work with your clients for the three circles and to figure out what their dreams really are and provide this extra value. And you talked about just before we started this that your company has gone down this route of ensuring that you create huge amount of value and ensure that your clients are doing that rather than just doing their accounts.
Yeah, look, one of the things that we were talking about is the bookkeeping role. And traditionally, you'd have a bookkeeper come in maybe once a month. They do their book, you do the books, they should do the BAS, off you go. You might see your client once or twice a year. That's traditionally sort of been an accounting scenario. Now with AI and with the way technology is going, we're now in the position where we're actually almost looking at being part of the administration of our clients, in the sense of, by using the AI, by using the data, by being able to provide the analytical review on a monthly or a quarterly basis, you're actually then really almost continuously making that client accountable to their goals and to their three circles. And it's almost, you're becoming a daily, monthly interaction with your clients. And therefore, from the point of view of being above average, well, yes, you're absolutely going to stand out above average to the other accountants going around. But at the same time, if you can actually get your clients to achieve their goals and become quite successful at whatever they're trying to get to, you're actually making them above average, because the risk is they're probably just average too, because they're probably not necessarily hitting all the points that they need to hit to get to where they want to get to.
But it's once AI comes in, and I guess automation, data, machine learning, all that sort of stuff. Like it's not all super high level stuff. It's just automation to some level. If that's removing administrative jobs, so I'm in digital marketing, and years ago Google took me and a couple other agencies in and said, your jobs as it is now won't exist in 5 years, so you guys have to start thinking about what you're going to offer at that point. Because back then, running a digital campaign meant picking a keyword, when will that keyword show, what time of day, and all the little, you had all these refinements, you had to do all these little tweaks to it, where that's now driven, obviously that's better if a robot does it because it can do that instantly. And it's the same with bookkeeping. I used to have a bookkeeper, but now my accountant does it, because all he has to do with all the automation and stuff like that is just verify that it's been allocated correctly.
That's right. Yep.
Which is what an accountant will do, even if a bookkeeper did it manually, because they don't trust each other, and nor should they. So yeah, it got rid of that admin job, because the time it took to fix a bookkeeper's mistakes, it's the same time it takes to fix a piece of AI's mistakes, probably less. So yeah.
And that's very true. And what's going to happen in that process is, even in our accountancy firm, as we do more from the point of view with individual clients, there's going to be some clients at the bottom end that don't want that and don't want to change, that will drop off. So you'll actually find that you'll spend more time with those clients that you actually are enjoying it, want it. And the trick out of this, and it's a critical word that I said, it's analytical review. It's great to have the data, but if you don't interpret it and talk about it, you get nothing.
It sounds like, Lou, you are the Jerry Maguire of accountancy. Matt always uses this one. Is that there's that famous thing where they're hugging each other, and this other guy goes to his guy that is supposed to be his agent, and he said, "Well, why don't I have that?" He said, "Oh, give you a hug." He's like, "No, go away from me." That thing where your clients love you because you're above average. You've gone above and beyond. You know their dreams or aspirations. You know what they're fighting for. You know so much more about them than just, here's your numbers, see you in 12 months.
Oh, so many times I've had clients ring up and say, "I'm going to do this," and I'll go, "Why? That's not what you told me. That's not what you told me 6 months ago. Why are you doing that now?" "Oh, but. Oh, okay, if you want to do that, but I'm going to bring you back to your 3 circles. If you can make it fit into your 3 circles, fantastic. Or we'll go and change the 3 circles because what you told me before isn't what you're doing now."
Yeah, focus on strategy, not on like top level stuff, not on getting stuck in the weeds, which is what, to be fair, a lot of businesses relied on, was bamboozling people with gibberish so that you could then make them feel like they were getting a service, but that just isn't necessary anymore.
But that's what also drives people away, because if you look at a lot of the unicorn companies that have come in, like Uber, they took away from the taxis. They had that because they had a service that wasn't given and wasn't rewarded, where a bottle of water was able to get you to swap an entire network or to know where a car was. Simple little things all of a sudden. But one of the things that takes average and moves it up is actually asking your customers what they want. Too many times we tell them what we want to give them, and they go, "That's not what we want." So that's what we've got to be able to do to take average. I had one particular account manager that worked on us, and when he left, all the other vendors said, "Oh, mate, what an amazing guy. He was incredible." And I asked, "Well, when was the last time he sat down and gave you a business plan? When was the last time he actually came through you with business?" What he did was he answered your call when you called, and he gave you the information you asked for. And you think this is the best? That is where the market is for a lot of people. To actually turn around, you don't have to be that much better at average. Sometimes it's just turning up. I mean, that's all you've got to do. I won a $1.2 million contract because we were the only people that responded to a tender. Right? That's ridiculous. But this is what it's about, making sure you show up. I mean, when did you last show up, Lou, and win something that was just shocked you because the competition was so poor?
It happens quite regularly, to be honest. It's almost the conversation. When I start the conversations, or when anyone in our firm starts the conversations about the 3 circles and about what you want, I've had scenarios and partners have come back and said they've gone, "No one's ever asked me this before." and that's just the reality of trying to get to the point of understanding the client. There's some real value in silence, and I know that sounds crazy, but there's some real value in just listening to people and writing stuff down, because, as I said, ultimately we all started to go into business for some reason. We had some dreams, we had some aspirations, and I say this to some clients: if you're on your deathbed, you are never going to remember how much tax the bloody accountant made you pay, or this or that. What you're going to remember is what you created for your family, what experiences that you had together, all those things. That's what we should be about as business owners and as accountants and advisors, is to say, what are the conversations you want to have on your deathbed to say, "Geez, we did it well. Geez, we had a great time," or whatever it might be.
Yeah, so many people tell me, "Oh, I love my clients. They're like family." And then you say, "Okay, well, what do you know about them?" "Oh, nothing." "Do you know their wife? Do you know anything about them? other than the very basic, you might know they follow a football team or something really kind of trivial that you could find out across 5-minute networking with somebody. So yeah, they talk about it like, well, I love my clients and family, but that's just another phrase that they trot out themselves because they are average and they're not going that extra mile.
And that's what I love what you guys do, because we come together as business owners and so forth. And at the end of the day, I'm not there, or no one's there for a sell. They're just there to get to know people. And that's for me valuable, because you don't have to walk in with an iron suit on or something tucked under your arm to try to make a sale. Let's just talk as human beings.
It's about the empathy of realizing that that's all we are, at the end of the day.
But again, it comes down to what you've got to do is just focus on what people actually want. And for so often we turn around and go, we need to give them all these things. But at the end of the day, what a lot of people want you to do is just feel that they have been seen. They've actually been spoken to. And we are far more than what we do at work. We've got our friends, our family, and we use that to say that that's really important. But it has to be important. It can't just be said to be important. So when, Tony, with average, what's an average story that you took and you made better? Like when somebody you were up against and it was just going average, things weren't going so well. What were the things that you did to make something better than average?
When do I not make something better than average, man?
That's why I threw it. That's why I threw it to you.
Well,
that's a bit. He's stalling for time. He's stalling for time here.
Shut up, Ronan. You don't know me. Okay. End of the day, I've been thinking in the back of my mind, Lou, that I think accountants make really good business advisors, especially the partners or the people that are running it. Especially, it sounds like a lot of your team have a very large ownership role of the business. Like they're not just sitting there plodding away, just doing meaningless work. So they get that same mind. And I think anyone that's involved in business success makes a really good advisor. And I think that's why accountants. I know my accountant. He's a small firm too, and you remind me of him, like someone that's just having those conversations and like not doing what every other accountant seems to do and sticking to what they know best and doing tax, and I'm in marketing, and I think it was the same thing. Like the biggest things clients generally thank us for is stuff that's not on our invoice, because we have that time and investment in their business to like offer a suggestion or recommendation or even fix something that we can fix, but like isn't technically in our service agreement. You know what I mean? And that goes through, like Matt and Ronan were saying, by knowing more about them. By sending, like on their, at Christmas, sending instead of sending a bottle of wine, we sent Lego because they've got a young child. So a $16 box of Lego for their kid is going to blow their mind rather than a $25 bottle of wine that everyone gets with a custom logo on it. Like that's not really personable. Like because you bought them in bulk, it can't be.
Tony, that's brilliant. I mean, but that's again, that leads back to what Lou was talking about before, and Ronan yourself. Most people say, I need to be interesting. I don't think you need to be interesting. I think you need to be interested. You need to be interested in what that person wants, what that person's talking about. And that's the key. So many people are talking or trying to put out posts and do all this sort of stuff. But what does the person want? If you can be interested in what they want, then you can open up a massive amount of opportunities. But if you're interested, you're always talking. You think people might follow you, but you're not really knowing what they need. So I think if there's one thing I can say to be better than average is be interested.
Yeah, I love that.
I think just to wrap up, I know Ronan's about to jump on me for time, but it reminds me of what Ronan says.
Cuddles.
Ronan, at the last lunch or dinner, I forget which one it was that you and Matt held, you said
because you drink too much, Tony. You drink too much. That's why you don't remember.
Where am I? I know that you said something like networking was broken because you get 25 people rock up that are all looking to sell and no one's willing to buy. And once again, like that's what, like you said about being interested instead of interesting. Like everyone's focused on the wrong thing, because then naturally when you're interested in someone and you build that relationship, you will, by the time you get into the state of building a relationship, you will naturally do business with each other, like, because there's trust and care and understanding. And I just reminded me of when you said that, Ronan, that networking was broken because everyone's going there to sell and no one wants to buy.
Yeah. You know, they're telling instead of asking questions, because straight away you can go, well, if this person isn't a good fit for me, but I know someone that might be, that I can introduce them to. But nobody comes with that mentality, so they all just come out. I'm here to sell, and 25 people in a room or 50 people in a room, everyone trying to sell, not looking to buy. Huge disconnect. And then people go, well, network is a waste of time. None of it's done right. None of it's done differently. So for sure. And that's the, you know, how do you get away from the average? Well, the average networking is to do that, and it doesn't work.
Exactly.
So to do something different. Yeah. Lou, thanks again for coming on Corporate Underground for the second time. Really loved hearing your values, your ethos, and how the PTP partners are different and actually manage to create those real relationships with their clients rather than just being transactional.
Yeah, and thank you for the opportunity, and hopefully I'll get out of lockdown one day.
Yeah.
all of us. Yeah, otherwise, you be careful though. Don't let the wife get the clippers, mate. It doesn't go well.
Mine just goes down the middle. I actually keeps missing the sides.
Yeah,
All right,
you're very
thanks, everybody.
disturbing to look at. Thank you.